Hello folks, welcome to Bad Creepypasta. Toby can't be here today because ninjas. Instead, we are joined by one of our hyper-masculine patrons, Rachel.
Hi!
Rachel has chosen for us two stories. The first is the Hey Arnold theory. About every 90s kid knows the Nickelodeon series Hey Arnold. The show about a small boy with an odd-shaped head. That's about the first thing you notice. The oddly shaped heads.
It's horrible deformity.
The oddly shaped heads the characters have. We'll get back to that later on. I want to tell you one thing first. The show isn't fiction. It has all happened. Yes, it is. Yeah, I remember reading the news about the pigeon guy.
Yes.
Or do you remember?
It was really sad when he just flew off.
Yeah, Matt, do you remember that big?
What about Stoop Kid? That guy was
real.
I
was literally, I was trying to remember Stoop Kid. I was just like, fucking that kid finally walked off his stoop.
The national holiday, international holiday. We celebrate it over here every year.
Oh, and there was that lad down the street who was found wearing bunny pajamas. So humiliating.
I hate that episode too. Why did you have to remind me of that?
Fucking dreadful, isn't it?
Yes.
That's why there are a lot of life lessons in it. No, or it could just be good writing, but okay. Arnold is a boy who lives in a bold, fictional city. The city actually is New York. The poor area.
Never would have guessed.
The poor area of New York. Thanks for being so specific. It's clearly visible that Arnold lives in a ghetto. He's just a poor orphan living with his grandparents Gertie and Phil. Well, he believes he's an orphan. He actually is the child of the people he believes to be his grandparents. Why?
Okay.
The grandparents are mentally unstable and told Arnold that his real parents of normal age died in a plane crash. That's not true at all.
Neither is this story.
Because Gertie and Phil were old when they made Arnold, he was born with a few conditions. One of them is hydrocephalus, the reason his head is such an odd shape. Football-shaped, you might say. There's one type of...
I don't think that's how that works.
It's
not.
Type of hydrocephalus, the one Arnold suffers from, that's called the Arnold-Chiari syndrome. That's the reason why the creators decided to call the boy Arnold. That's a real condition, by the way, that they're exploiting for this story. If we just put that up on the screen, you'll see it does give you a weird shaped head, but not anything like Arnold from Hey Arnold.
And I'd like to add to that, they say that both of them are mentally unstable, but Gertie was the only one who seemed to be mentally unstable. So, this story's already lying to me.
So it might not be true.
Boy, Phil always seemed like worldly wise. Like a little eccentric, but that was it. Whereas, yeah, Gertie was like pretty much insane. Okay, Gertie and Phil themselves are mentally unstable. This is because of their age.
Do you think M. Night Shyamalan read this story and thought, I can make a film out of that?
I just wonder if this person has like a vendetta against old people. This is also the reason why Phil sexually abused Arnold. Why, his age?
You know, you get to a certain age and you're like, I'm going to fill a child. That's why we put them in old folks' home, to save the young.
Sorry, what was that?
I said, does the writer have something to tell us?
Well, evidently not. I don't have anything worth telling us anyway, judging by their writing. Phil says to Arnold that it's totally normal that a grandparent does this kind of stuff to their grandchildren. Arnold is being bullied for his oddly shaped head. This is where another condition Arnold has comes in. Because of Gertie and Phil's old age, Arnold suffers from several psychological conditions. This makes him see things that aren't there. Because he's bullied a lot, he escapes to an imaginary world with imaginary friends. You were talking about how it wasn't fiction, and now you're saying it's a fantasy world in his head.
Well, look on the bright side, he hasn't gone on a murder spree with superpowers since he got bullied.
That's the reason the other characters have weird shaped heads too. It makes him feel like he's normal, and no one can pick on him because of his head. Doesn't Helga call him football head all the time? This is also the reason why Arnold believes that his parents are his grandparents, and that his real parents died in a plane crash. His condition...
I thought it would be because they told him.
His condition makes him believe that that is reality. No need to be more specific about that, that's fine, your audience will just be okay with that. But the reality behind this series is way worse. It is reality. That's an entire sentence. Just, it is reality. It tells the story about a poor boy living in New York. You've fucking told me this. It's all based on facts, except the parts that are, in his imagination. When the creator got lost in New York, he accidentally... Isn't that the name of the second Home Alone movie? When the character accidentally...
Was that one based on this as well?
Got lost in New York on VHS. He accidentally got into the poor area. He's making it sound like a dog, like getting into the garbage. It was really late, so he decided to stay at a hotel. Then he came across a 9-year-old boy, the child of 2 people who were clearly too old to have children. He saw that the boy was mentally unstable, and he believed in all the things that he made up. The creator decided to talk to the boy. He felt really sorry for the boy when he discovered the boy only had imaginary friends. Was this written by fucking Kratos?
Boy!
And would die if he didn't get medical care quickly. He felt like he needed to do something, so he asked the boy if he could tell his story, and then he'd make sure the boy's life would become better. But he didn't.
So I made a cartoon out of it!
But he didn't. He just used the sad story for a TV program and took advantage of it. All the Misery was so successful as a children's program. It's 2 different spellings of program in the same paragraph, by the way. He became rich and didn't care about the poor boy suffering. He did not tell anyone about the way he came up with the idea for the series. He knew that if the truth would come out, it would all be done for him. No one would support a program created by someone who became rich over the misery of someone else.
Yes, they would, because reality TV exists.
Yeah, I think, honestly, you are giving people way too much fucking decent... Like, you're crediting people with way too much decency. The secret was all kept for so many years, but when it all came out to one of the important people... Okay, listen to this. But when it all...
Hello, I'm an important person, look at my hat!
Listen to this fucking sentence. But when it all came out to one of the important people from the Nickelodeon found out...
That's not a sentence.
I don't even know where to begin unpacking that. The show immediately got cancelled. So now you know it all. Where the idea came from. What it really is about and why it ended. The boy probably is dead by now. We can't help him anymore. But please, make sure no one takes advantage of someone else's misery again. We can help all those poor kids in ghettos. But not by making a program about them. Then end. Oh, can you believe this asshole?
He gets on his fucking high horse at the end, like this entire story. But look after those needy children. Don't, take advantage of them.
He's so despicable as well. He genuinely exploits real, real world issues like actual deformities and, and sexual abuse and stuff to tell his atrocious creepypasta. And then he's like, but don't profit on the misery of others. A fucking sanctimonious prick.
I feel bad for Craig Bartlett, too. This dude is just throwing his name all through the mud. It's like, what did Craig Bartlett do to you?
Maybe he, rejected his terrible TV concept once. He's like, it's about these old people that can't stop diddling their grandson. What do you mean, leave your office and never come back?
He wanted to be an intern at Nick, and Craig Bartlett said no.
I'll show you. I'll write a story on the internet that dozens of people might read.
The next story, I shit you not, is Jeff versus Freddy Krueger. That probably loses all its impact when Jeff versus Freddy Krueger is in the title of the video, but it's still fucking shocking that exists.
Surprise! Oh wait, you paid attention.
Jeff travels to Elm Street trying to find more victims for his pleasure and delight. No period. Walking down the fresh rain road, his footsteps causing small splashes in the puddles as he begins to sing a song. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, precious victim. Nighty night, nighty night. Pray to God the hellhounds don't bite.
That was shit.
Yes, it was. He sees 3 little girls jumping rope as his eyes light up with fire as he slowly begins to stalk towards them, his knife drawn, but stops in
He's so inconspicuous.
But stops in mid-step as if frozen in time. He listens carefully to a song that they sing that he knows all too well. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door.
You know that shit. You've seen the fucking Freddy Krueger movies.
Just then, a figure appears out of Jeff's shadow. A low, unholy laugh escapes the figure's lips. Jeff turns around, his everlasting smile still on his face, but deep down the figure knows he is not amused. So you're the famous Jeff the Killer, huh? The figure replies, a snarl on his face.
So, wait, Freddy Krueger says, "You're the famous Jeff the Killer." Freddy Krueger said to Jeff the Killer.
That's one of the... That could only be more insulting if... Oh, you know what? No, it couldn't, actually. I'm sitting there thinking... I'm trying to think of, like... Oh, if it could be more insulting if it was Dracula. No, actually, it doesn't get worse, does it? And you must be the infamous Freddy Krueger. Not a fan, and most importantly, not amused by your work. And she's hurt my voice.
What is that supposed to mean, you little maggot? Freddy barks.
This doesn't sound like Freddy at all. Like, Freddy's way funnier than this.
Well, first of all, you're all burnt and fugly as hell.
Look who's fucking talking.
He's burnt, but he doesn't look like a fish.
You got your ass kicked by several girls and a little boy. You're supposed to be a dream demon, not a dream fairy. Meh, meh, meh.
Oh. Freddy begins to walk slowly around Jeff, who remains unfazed by the dream killer. After about 5 minutes... What?
5 minutes?
Why?
Clearly neither have anything better to do. This was in the middle of the street, was traffic just going by, like, who are these fuckers?
I love to think Jeff was just standing there with, like, that John Travolta face. And just, like, with Freddy just for a solid 5 minutes, not speaking a word.
Freddy is the first to speak up. So, how about a little wager, huh? Let's see who dies first.
Be my guest, sunshine. How about you make the first move, but please try not to die too quickly. I want to savour this kill, for it will be my greatest ever, to be able to get the very dream demon that killed so many people. Go to sleep.
I can't even believe this is an actual thing. Why is this a thing? Can you answer that for me, guys? Why is this a thing?
Well, you found it.
Because people are awful, and because human stupidity is a fucking bottomless well.
That is true. Jeff cackles as he draws his knife. Freddy lunges at Jeff, who dodges his attack with ease and kicks Freddy in the ass, which causes Freddy to fall onto his face and tumble. Freddy gets up and dusts himself off. An evil sneer makes itself present on Freddy's face. Time to take this to my home. Freddy laughs as they transport it to the dream world.
I thought he was inviting him over for tea and cakes or something.
It just sounds like a really sinister, like, date.
I'm just wondering, did he knock Jeff out? Because how did he transport them to the dream world?
It's best not to think about it.
Oh, this world seems wonderful. So dark, so damp and full of despair and pain. I think I shall take over this place once I kill you, Freddy. Don't worry, I'll take good care of it.
No effing way! You'll ever beat me in my own home! Freddy says, stabbing Jeff in the back. The blood gushes from Jeff's stomach as he looks down and sees 4 blades from Freddy's claws coming out from his stomach, which causes him to only laugh and look back at Freddy, who now has a worried look on his face.
Was that your best trick? If not, then please try harder. I can take more!
Please try harder, that should just be the, title of this entire fucking story.
Jeff laughs maniacally. What the heck are you? Freddy screams as he pulls his claw from Jeff and tries to stab him again. But Jeff turns around and stares deep into the eyes of Freddy. All Freddy can see in Jeff's black eyes is pain and death. Wasn't Freddy a child molester? What the freak?
I thought Freddy was a child molester.
See, Freddy, the difference between me and you is you're a dream demon.
It's just the wrong "you're" every time.
I am, I guess you can call me the devil's favourite demon. 2, I don't fear you. And 3, we didn't establish 1, but that's okay. 3, you are just a bad dream. Me, I'm the fucking Black Plague. Shit, I am the apocalypse. So please lay down and go the yak to kip.
Jeff laughs as he launches himself at Freddy. Oh, are you kidding me?
It's just horrible to think of. Don't get me wrong. Like, nothing could save this story. but the idea that Jeff would win just rubs fucking salt in the wound. Like, you're already insulted when Freddy's like, "Oh, you're the famous Jeff the Killer," you know.
I'm surprised you didn't go, "You're as handsome as I thought you would be." Almost as handsome as the author of this story.
So, oh, yes, I was changing the face of horror films forever while you were still in your dad's balls. You know what I mean? It's just fucking ridiculous.
You're right. There should like. Do you think it goes on to like? He goes, "Oh, I'm gonna kill all the famous movie monsters and stuff like Dracula. I'm coming for you next. You wimp. I'm Jeff the Killer. I'm vaguely known on the internet. I'm famous."
Honestly, this is
one of the worst.
Yeah, this is more insulting to like classic horror than the new fucking Mummy movie was. Just awful. I'm looking through the comments, and luckily they all hate it. There's
I was just looking at the rating. 4.1 out of 10. Still not low enough, but at least
it's better than what I thought it was gonna be. So thank goodness for that.
It's not 10 out of 10.
To be fair,
Pastor of the month.
The fucking standards of like creepypasta websites online, just shocking. Like the Jeff versus the Slender Man one we read, which had like 9 out of 10, just riddled with grammatical errors, plot holes. Rachel, well, okay, let's talk a little bit about the first story then. Okay, so the first story that we read was really terrible, and
it was just insulting.
I had a lot of issues with it. It was insulting to the creditors of Hey Arnold, who obviously did nothing to this author, and it was hypocritical because it was on its high horse. You know, the author was on that high horse, saying, "Oh, don't exploit this kind of shit just to tell a story," and they literally did that. Matt, do you have any comments on the Hey Arnold theory?
No, you've basically covered everything I would have said, and there's nothing else to say about it. We watched was it Creepypasta read it years ago, and it mocked it constantly, along with was it Rugrats one and the Recess one, where it's like Angelica was a crack baby.
So, Arnold's grandparents were old, so they molested him, as old people are wont to do. Rachel, do you have any comments on?
I hate dream theories too. Like, I really do, because they're so easy to just write, and they're so easy to disprove. But you can apply it to literally every show ever. Like, it's just an easy thing to do.
Did you know the Poddington piece is all about the war in Sudan? How? I don't know. I'll make something up later.
Yeah. Did you know that the herb garden is actually about marijuana, hence the name? And Parsley is the dog that died because Bayleaf was so stoned that he didn't feed his dog. Fucking stupid.
The Magic Roundabout's all about drugs.
Okay, that one kind of works, but...
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so, and Jeff versus Freddy Krueger, which is profoundly insulting in a different way. It was insulting to...
It was essentially just a guy jacking Jeff off onto Freddy's face.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Like... I mean, somebody out there would probably there probably is yaoi of that, of burn victim yaoi of just Jeff nutting on Freddy Krueger.
And it's just like,
there's a pleasant image. Put it on the screen.
On the story when it was like Freddy was starting to get afraid of Jeff the Killer. Like, really? He's a demon, and before he died, he was a child killer and molester. He wouldn't be afraid of him. What the?
Ooh, there, you got a burnt fish, just my type.
Yeah, it's just especially he's just a teenager. He doesn't even have any superpowers. Like, the amount of teenagers that Freddy Krueger has murdered and toyed with and ridiculed as he does it. Cracking wise as he does it. No, it's absurd. Both these stories were fucking dreadful, and there's really no chance for improvement. Last couple of episodes we've been a bit more constructive, I've noticed, which is, I guess, is actually kind of fun. This one is more of a traditional slagging off, because there really is no...
There's nothing worth salvaging if you could salvage.
Yeah. It's just dog shit. They're both dog shit.
This, just keep writing. This doesn't have to be the only thing you write. The guys aren't trying to be jerks to you.
Yeah, I would say,
and don't put them on the internet.
On the plus side, there's nowhere to go from here but up as a writer. So, hooray? Question mark? Thank you very much for watching. Before I do the usual end slate stuff, I'd like to mention, in case you didn't realise, that the Trollpasta wiki has recently been taken down, apparently due to trolling, from the name, and bullying. Seems a little unfair, but it's something that's happened. A replacement wiki is being worked on, and there is a link to it in the description. We hope that's something you guys can support. I want to say a big thank you to Rachel for coming on the show today, and for our other patrons whose names are on the screen right now. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, you can hit subscribe. Check out some of these other videos linked on the screen here. You can also check out our Patreon. We're also on social media. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.